What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of History Behind the Horror. For today's video, we will be talking about the Hunter from Left 4 Dead. A lot of you guys have been asking me to get this video done, and I'm so sorry that it took so long to get it done, but we're finally here today, and we got more Left 4 Dead videos coming up really soon. So if you guys want to see those videos in the near future, make sure you give this video a like, make sure you share it, and put in the comments for what special infected you would like to see next. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoy the video. The Hunter is an agile special infected whose mutation has granted him incredible strength and agility. His role in Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 is to kill or gruesomely injure individual survivors who have become separated from their comrades. The Hunter appears in a faded blue hooded sweatshirt and dark brown sweatpants. His hood is always pulled down over his face, which on close inspection reveals that the skin around his eyes have been either clawed off or has mortified as a result of the infection, where remains of his eyes emit the white reflective glow displayed by common infected in the dark, although this effect may be light reflecting off the blood leaking from his eye sockets. The limbs of his outfit are battered down with duct tape in a manner similar to the ones who do parkour, which is done to lessen wind resistance. Hunters are primarily identified by their distinctive and imitating growl, or the screams and snarls they emit upon sighting a survivor or while attacking. Hunters are the only special infected who do not make any noise while in passive state. The Hunter is the least visibly mutated special infected and superficially resembles a common infected. It has yet to be explained how the Hunter's mutations onset, whether it be genetic, biochemical, or a Hunter-specific strain of the virus, but the mutations seem to be sex-linked as only male Hunters have been observed. The Hunter's reaction to the infection has granted him an increase in lower body strength. While not creating massive muscle growth like the tank, this added strength has given the Hunter the ability to repeatedly jump and pounce from long distances and rapidly scale the size of buildings with ease, as well as toughen his legs in order to withstand the great distances and heights he can achieve. At the same time, there seems to be some sort of muscle delay after an initial attack where the Hunter is not able to move as swiftly. One of the most notable physical observations is that the Hunter lacks eyes. Whether this is self-inflicted, a byproduct of the infection, or both is unknown. The extent of damage to the Hunter's sight suggests his other senses are far more developed than those of typical infected, allowing him to hunt from farther distances. It is possible that the screeching noises he makes and the growling are his own echolocation method. He might also use scent to tell the survivors apart from infected. As with the other special infected, he is not distracted by such high frequency noises as pipe bombs or car alarms going off. Hunters also appear to be the only infected with a self-defense reflex. When shot at a distance and knowing they cannot pounce, the Hunters will sometimes jump away into safety. As with the original special infected, including the witch who kept her original model, the Hunter received a change of appearance in Left 4 Dead 2. Parts of his outfit have been ripped away, revealing his skin heavily disfigured by clusters of boils and scratches, similar to that of the smoker. His left wrist remains wrapped in tape along with fragments of his sleeves, while his right hand is bare with a visible band and heavily bruised flesh where the duct tape would have been, possibly from muscle growth around the tightly wrapped tape. He has lost his shoes, and his feet seem to be covered in a mixture of mud and blood. His hoodie now is a zipper, has a wider hood, and much more blood splattered upon it. His face is now entirely obscured in the shadow of his hood, showing only the bottom half of his face. His fingernails have grown in length and thickness, giving his hands a closer resemblance to animal claws. The Hunter's signifying scream of seeing a survivor is different, higher in pitch than the previous version. However, both his original screams are still featured in Left 4 Dead 2. His screams become louder and more high-pitched as he nears. It seems likely that most of the differences in the Hunter's appearance in Left 4 Dead 2 were caused by the Hunter himself, clawing at his restrictive taping and clothes in an effort to remove them. However, the growth of his nails, his amplified scream, and the increase of deformation upon his skin suggest that the hunter has mutated further from his manifestation in Left 4 Dead. A new graphical feature in Left 4 Dead 2's hunter is that he can be covered in blood due to prolonged pouncing. As he continuously pounces on one survivor on the ground, his body will be covered in blood. The hunter has 2 attacks, a claw attack which does 10 damage on normal and 6 damage on versus, and a pouncing attack which pins down a helpless survivor while the hunter claws at them, dealing damage every 0.5 seconds. The hunter will not stop until he has killed the survivor, been killed himself, or shoved off by another survivor, or an explosion. If controlled by a player, the hunter is able to deal damage with the actual pounce itself. Any pounce, regardless of distance traveled, deals a minimum of 1 damage to the pounce survivor. Successful pounces from a great distance can cause up to 25 damage, which makes them the most powerful individual attack in the game, which can be caused by a playable non-tank infected. AI control hunters cause no damage upon pouncing survivors, regardless of distance traveled. When a player takes control of the hunter in versus mode, the hunter's pounce ability is measured by meters from where the player crouches down. The time it takes for his jump to charge is 1 second. The knockback he causes upon survivors in close proximity to those he has pounced is longer, although survivors who are knocked back into a wall or other obstacles recover faster. The hunter's role, a very rare occurrence in Left 4 Dead, has been made more common in Left 4 Dead 2. If the hunter is shoved off his victim in the left hip, he may perform a back roll and be ready to pounce again in about a second. The hunter can perform this move in any and all game modes. Rolls are performed in parkour to absorb shock and make the one doing the parkour ready for a quick follow-up movement. In this case, the hunter uses it to continue his attack. The AI control hunter can leap out a dangerous path. However, player control hunters can only do this on single player, with the help of a special plugin or console modifications in the original Left 4 Dead. AI control hunters cannot do this on versus mode. Instead, they stand up and walk away. Fast and agile, the special infected will growl and scream to inform you of his presence. The hunter is often used as a distraction by both AI and human infected. Inexperienced players fail especially badly against hunters, since their attack is often much harder to avoid than the tongue of a smoker or the bile of a boomer. Without timely intervention, hunters can kill very quickly. The only exception is the witch and tank on expert difficulty. While hunters are hurt by being on fire and will eventually die, any survivor pounced on by a flaming hunter will suffer much more damage from the attack. As of an update, only dynamic fire sources such as those created by the Molotov or gas cans add to the damage bonus. However, in Left 4 Dead 2, this hidden effect is removed. Players can train their survival skills against hunters in the Mutation hunting party, as the only special infected the director can spawn are hunters, apart from the occasional tank and witch. You can train your skills against them in other modes, but expect less hunters to train on because of this. And that ends this episode of History Behind the Horror. Now, like a lot of our other Left 4 Dead videos, there are more to this character, and that is the tactics section of it, telling you guys how to deal with the hunter more effectively as a team or single player. But as I always say, I'm not going to be getting into that because I want you guys to go ahead and get the game, the first and the second one, and see how you do with your friends or with just yourself, because I personally think that this game is really fun, and I think everybody who has a chance to play it should check this game out, because this game has amazing reviews and it's a really fun game to do with your friends or by yourself. As always, I can't beat this game by myself. I've been trying to do it on expert mode and I'm always getting stopped by a tank or witch or even a hunter or even a smoker, and a lot of the times a boomer, chargers. There's so many infected that I just can't beat on expert by myself, and even on teams, like, I still can't do it, but it's still a blast to play, and I always come back to this game every once in a while, this one and the first one, because these games are really fun. So with that being said, if you guys did enjoy this episode and you would like to see more Special Infected or the Survivor files covered on this channel, make sure you give this video a like. I base the likes off of whether I should continue the series or should I just go on to a new series, and I base it off how many shares the video gets. So if you can like and share it, I would appreciate it. And also make sure you guys Put in the comments for what special infected or survivor you would like to see me do next. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, because we got some things coming up soon that I'm sure you wouldn't want to miss. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next episode of History Behind